Okay, ready to roll.
Agenda, stand approved as presented. Then we'll go ahead and open up the meeting. Okay, Kelly.
Henry County Commission, Henry County, Missouri, Tuesday, April 29th, 2025, 9th day of the April term. The Henry County Commission met pursuant to adjournment at the courthouse in Clinton, Missouri. Those members present were Jim Stone, Presiding Commissioner, Mark Larson, North District Commissioner, Jake Bradley, South District Commissioner, Kelly Merritt, Henry County Clerk. At 9 a.m., Commissioner Stone brought the meeting to order. The agenda was approved as presented. The minutes from the Thursday, April 24th, 2025 meeting were read. Commissioner Bradley made a motion to approve the minutes. Commissioner Larson seconded the motion. Motion carried. The minutes from the closed session Thursday, April 24th, 2025 meeting were read. Commissioner Larson made a motion to approve the closed minutes. Commissioner Bradley seconded the motion. Motion carried. Expenditures for the following departments were approved to be paid: payroll, employee benefits, road and bridge, county clerk, law enforcement GR, buildings and grounds, court administration, inmate security fund, 27th Circuit Treatment Court, local tribal fund, general county government. Chuck Thomas introduced himself to the commission. Chuck thanked Commissioner Larson for videoing the meeting. Chuck stated that he was here to motivate the citizens of Henry County. He is concerned with the county deeding a building downtown to an organization that wants to house the homeless. He stated that fixing the issue has been tried in this area and that it has always failed. Chuck is concerned with the effect it will have on the businesses on the square. Chuck stated that he didn't want to come off as heartless, just concerned for the innocent. He suggested that the commission go and talk to the business owners here in town. Commissioner Stone said he agreed with Chuck on a lot of his concerns. He just doesn't know what the answer is. He also shared that the commission is now live streaming on YouTube. Commissioner Bradley shared that he had spoke with the sheriff and addressed these same concerns. Gary Mount addressed the commission regarding the emergency management department. He stated that he and John Gover got the old jail set up nicely for emergency management, and he wants to know where the equipment from the emergency management department went. Commissioner Bradley shared that he would like to get with the admins of the schools and other taxing entities to discuss Senate Bill 190. He feels we need to make a move on this as a county. Collector Treasurer Watson was asked to come to the commission meeting to discuss Senate Bill 190, the base year. The fact that the county has missed out on being able to do the freeze base year as 2024. The cost to implement the software is estimated to be around about $20,000. Rick shared that Christian County froze 2023 taxes and was one of the first counties in the state to implement the freeze. The total savings to seniors in the first year for the entire county was $1,500. He said a lot of the work will be on the assessor separating the buildings. He recommended that the county freeze 2025 and start the application process as soon as it's adopted, giving them ample amount of time to apply prior to the June deadline. He also shared that the application process has to be done on a yearly basis. Rick made the recommendation that the county adopt the Senate Bill 190 ordinance and move forward. David Plumley, Clinton Chamber of Commerce, visited with the commission regarding Old Glory Days. He shared that Old Glory Days will be held July 3rd through the 6th, 2025. He provided them with a general agenda. He asked permission to use the courthouse ground for Old Glory Days. Commissioners gave permission for them to use the grounds. Clerk Merritt contacted Pat Nelson regarding the July 3rd calendar for the courts. He shared of the various activities happening between now and then, and he asked to use the courthouse grounds on June 25th, 2025. Commissioner Bradley returned a call to Mary Kay Newman regarding the Senate Bill 190 senior tax freeze. Commissioner Bradley made a motion to adjourn the meeting at 10:30. Commissioner Stone seconded the motion. Motion carried.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second. Motion been made and seconded to accept the minutes as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Okay.
Ours is working downstairs.
Sometimes
Ours is not.
it's blowing.
Something happened during the power outage. I'll run for a while now. It's working then. Good. The power outage also made our cameras reset, so I had to adjust.
I want to look and see where I can hide it.
Nowhere, because as you've seen, I can move the cameras when I want to. Good morning.
Good morning.
Seen that one a little bit more to the left.
Mm-mm. I think it needs to be zoomed. It's zoomed out a little. Better. Did you stamp the minutes?
Oh, but senior tax rates, do we want to talk about that? Go there,
Candy won't.
see what?
We do have a
You got it.
10:30 closed session. And you do have individuals signed up to speak, so whichever way you guys want to do that, I just want to make sure
Oh.
that you.
I'll tell you what, then we better, let's go ahead, 10:30, and we got, how many will speak this morning? You will speak. Three of them, yeah. Okay, everybody had 5 minutes, but we need to move on. We got some other things, but anyway, I guess I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and start on that, kind of change our agenda around a little bit, Kelly. Move it up after invoices for the public comment. Okay, and here first on the agenda, Chuck, are you?
Of course, morning,
Good morning, Chuck.
and doing well. But since I'm limited and I'm going to try to stay in all this,
Yes.
I'm going to get just straight to the licking law. Okay, licking log to me means, and it represents back in the old farm days when I was around. The old timers would go out and they'd use a tree stump, but out in Oklahoma, show me a tree. But anyway, any tree would be used for salt in to attract the wildlife and salt the cows. You didn't go to town and get a bucket. I'm here to say one simple thing, and I hope this is all with my questions, because I'm going to get straight to the questions. We're out of salt. We don't have any more. I'm tired of paying for taxes that I don't see the benefit, and honestly, it hurts a lot of people. It hurts. And when we're out of money, and there's 80 million people that stood up and said, we're out of money, we're tired. And I'm tired. So, licking log is done. We don't have any salt. No more salt to put in that log. So, to get straight to the meat, my questions are these, and I don't expect a response, but at some point I hope I get one. Who owns the building and the property? Now, do I know the building and the property being the old Henry County or the emergency system building that down there? Because I know that could be two different locations. The city could own the property, we could own the building. Secondly, who owns the deed? And that's, if you know about property, there is that perspective. Whose name is on it? How much money in tax dollars was used on said condemned building over its life to refurbish the building and get for an unfit building? What is the ground value on that property, building, and who owns the property? Next is, who paid the $50,000? Who is this organization? I looked it up. The Project Homeless, but here's a question. None of it refers to, they say they are faith-based, but to be faith-based, I've done business. I've owned and operated several businesses in my life. To be faith-based, there's certain rules and regulations that has to be followed strictly. Strictly. There's so many audits that climb up and down your backside that you'll be swearing you're getting an exam, and not an exam that anybody likes. To be an NGO or to remove the tax dollars and for the filing of the paperwork, and all these things have to be public. There are certain things that require these businesses. Now, for an NGO or to be filed for nonprofit or for-profit, there's even some of the subcategories. Investments in one of a nonprofit. There can actually be an investment in nonprofit. So who's these people that are following this? Who? I still don't know because it's not listed. None of the sites list them. So I looked it up on the federal side of it. With all the audits and all the mandatory things that are going on with that, there are so many investigations that are going to come down through this. And why do I say this? Because all of this is not out there. The information that is the simplest of all is like having a lick log. Who, what, where, how. It's simple. And if that information is not out in public, there's a problem. So the issue to me is if we, the people that are tired of paying for the salt to be put in the log, how do we know that the money's going to be used properly? How do we know it's not a scam? How do we know? I haven't seen anything. Yes, I know there was some paper article. I read the article. A lot of generic words were used, but nothing specifically guidance that is applied to businesses or NGOs or to faith-based or to why you file your taxes. There's a lot of who, what, and where that is missing out of all of these forms. Everything. I have not seen a thing in it. I just want these questions. I want to know if I'm going to be asked, and here's the thing that nobody wants to talk about. We are going to be asked, the county taxpayers and the city, especially those around that are going to be harmed around this square, and the customers that come here, sooner or later, the money's going to dry up. Whoever gifted that money, people's offerings and gifts and tithes are going to be dried up because they're going to get tired of it and they won't need the tax write-off. So pretty soon they're going to come to us and they're going to ask very specifically for tax money. I don't want it. I will not. I will oppose any tax. I will oppose that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll try that. Okay. Yes. And,
My name's Denise Welsh. I'm a county resident and I work in the county.
okay.
Almost 15 years now. And my statements don't mean that I don't care about people. I care about the homeless. I care about the citizens. Everyone. So, with that said, all that we're looking for is that word, transparency. We want transparency. And that means data and facts ahead of any action. Seems like we're always chasing projects after they're in motion. It's hard to keep up. Try to read the paper, try to find the minutes, try to look up online. But a lot of times we're busy and just trying to find the information. A lot of times we just don't get it until things are already in motion. And it's not like we don't want to know. I've had people ask me, well, why didn't you go to this meeting? Why are you asking now? Well, sometimes it takes time to hear it and catch it. And it's not like we're not trying to be informed, but there's just a lot going on. There's so much going on. There's too much going on to expect that we can follow everything that's presented to the city and county. Because there's city meetings and there's county meetings and there's all the orgs on the side. And I've been to meetings. I know you've seen me at some meetings. I've been to meetings. So I'm just looking for things to slow down, have public meetings ahead of any decisions that are made. If you don't, it looks bad. It doesn't look good when things pop up and people don't know it's happening. And it isn't because we don't want to know. It's just hard to keep up. With the city and the county property, we need to be in the loop on the decisions because we are the taxpayers. It's city county property. If this ever gets to the grant phase, guess what? Grant money is local money. That's when eventually it's going to get to grants. What I looked at was that they are going to be relying on people, organizations already in place to provide services down there. There's probably grant and state money. That's us. So we're going to end up involved in this, even though they say we're not. So with that said, to me, the location's inappropriate. I understand apparently it was presented as the building's just sitting there, but there's been stuff going on down there. I would be interested to know what kind of money's been put into that building since they built the new city hall and all of that. It's evidently not a condemned building because it's being used. So, that's really all I have to say. I thank you for your time, and we just want to be involved in what's going on.
Thank you.
Okay, thank y'all for your
Thank you.
time.
Thank you.
All right, bear with me because I'm in the process of losing my voice. I'm just gonna pass these out to you guys. Just one more. Okay, these over here in a minute. All right. Good morning. My name is Jessica, and I work for a small business in the downtown square. I'm here today. Because I, along with several other business property owners, have serious concerns about the homeless shelter being placed close to the square. Don't get me wrong, we support helping people in need, but placing a shelter in the heart of downtown could do more harm than good. We're already dealing with issues tied to homelessness and drug addiction. Bringing more of that into the business district could run off customers, threaten public safety, and disrupt the very fabric of our downtown. We're asking you to please consider an alternative location, one closer to the edge of town, where services can still be provided without putting extra strain on our businesses and community space. We all want solutions, but they have to work for everyone, including the people who are here invested in downtown every day. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I work at Serrano's, and they were unaware of it until recently. There's a lady around the corner that was unaware of it, and she doesn't agree with the location. I'm sure the Glasscocks don't agree with the location. There's several business owners around the square that are against it. I mean, we're all for a homeless shelter, but not around the square. I mean, I live down the street and I see what's going on daily. I've tried to help them. They don't want help. I mean, I try to give a girl some, hygiene products, food, and she goes, that looks like it has revenge written all over it. Okay, then don't take it. You see them get money and then they go to the corner store and go buy drugs. I mean, you gotta want to change.
I've heard people talk about the old jail, so I'm not too sure if we don't need to get it inspected first.
And my uncle is an inspector.
You'll have to excuse me, I have to leave. My wife actually was sick, so I apologize to you for leaving. I've got a few, and my look at it might be a little bit different, but I still want to explain why. There's never a good place to put a homeless shelter. There's not. You get the upper end of the people that are in the homeless shelter, and you get the lower end, the people that you're not going to be able to help no matter what you do. My thought on this was that area down there. Now the square is great. But you get down there, there's nothing. Jim, yours is probably the nicest building down there. It is a little bit off the beaten path, but I get where you guys are coming from if you have a business up here and the risk and everything else. But the thing that everybody keeps saying is this is a homeless shelter, and this is not a homeless shelter. What you are doing, it's very obvious in the day and age that we live in now. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I had no idea there was homeless people here. I really didn't. I mean, I'm out in the country. I came from Kansas City. I know what that looks like, probably better than anybody sitting in here. This is, in my mind, quite a bit different because you're not going to get rid of the homeless people walking around here if they're bothering you or this or that. Okay, those people are going to be here whether we shut that down or we don't. What that does, it takes the people that are on that upper end that are out on the street. It gives them an ability to get the things that they need to get off the street and get out of here. That's what it does. So I trust me, I'm with you guys, but you need to understand the other side of this. I mean, if I told you how many people have walked down where our office is, come in, and there was a guy pushing a
Grocery cart
Shopping
last
cart
night.
yesterday.
last night. Yeah. I've had people do that. I've had people show up, run out of gas, and you give them money, or I don't give them money. If you're hungry, I'll go get you something to eat. If you run out of gas, I'm gonna go get you. There's that. You'd probably be better at this. Where it talks about how you treat a sluggard in the Bible. I'm a firm believer in that. But this is a deeper issue than what just people hanging out here. My question, and problem is, and after I say this, you're going to understand, it rolls into a huge snowball. So where are the police? Why are the police not picking them up? Well, they're not picking them up because if they do, they got to put them in the jail. And if they put them in the jail, the jail's overrun. So it is a continual snowball that just seems to be getting bigger. In my mind, this is like just taking a little niche out of that big pie of all the homeless people, and you're cutting it out 2 weeks, and they're on the road. They are, those won't be the people that when you're trying to get in your car, they come up and say, hey, you got to die. You got to die. They're not going to be doing that because they have a strict regimen that they need to follow or they're gone. They're not going to be around. Trust me. And honestly, it won't affect me. So I can't get crazy, one side or the other because I don't even live in Clinton. I'm clear out on the other side of Calhoun. But I just want to be careful in coming down too hard when, like you said, it probably won't work and it may not. But I'm of the mind if we can, if we've got 30 people out here that are living on the streets in Calhoun, Clinton, and we can get rid of 5 of them, I'm for it. And that's the only way I know it can be done. As far as everybody wanting to know what transpires in the county, you got a guy sitting here for that exact reason. That's literally, that's the only reason I'm here, guys. That's it. So I totally get that, but I'm going to tell you this. You also are living in a republic, not a democracy. So you all and everybody out there put us in office to make decisions. If we make bad decisions, that's our fault, but it's also yours because you put us here. If you have any questions as to what you're worried about when you're voting for somebody, guys, do your due diligence. Find out what they think, what they know, or anything else before you make that X. Because you can't micromanage this county. You just can't do it. Now, transparency. I mean, I'm one of those guys, and I'll get in trouble for saying this. I don't even believe in the closed sessions. I don't. I think unless it would involve, like, we're going to fire Mark. Okay, I mean that's you're going. But I mean that's where it really needs to be because that's a personal thing. Everything else, any other decision we make here, it doesn't matter if it's with a lawyer, if it's with buying. The only reason maybe real estate is because if we were trying to buy something and you're thinking about buying it, I don't want you to know what we're doing. I get that. But other than that, and I've told people I am an open book, and I think that's the way it needs to be done. Now, there's other people that think different, and that's, once again, that's the beauty of the country that we live in, because that's what makes us who we are. But you got to be real careful trying to micromanage things. I mean, I don't have an issue with letting everybody know what's going on, but I do have an issue with every time I get ready to make a decision, I've got to hold a meeting or public and let everybody know. I wouldn't want this job. I don't think anybody would. But that's why I'm saying it's you've got to put the people in office that you trust. And then it's our responsibility to let the people know. We did this. I mean, at least I'm going to speak for me. I can't speak for Jim and Jake. I did this because I thought this was probably the best route to take with that building. I don't know how good shape it's in. I mean, structurally, or that I've been in it. It leaks water like a sieve. I don't even know how much money we put into it. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I guess somebody could go back and look. But by looking at it, they haven't put a whole lot of money in it. And to fix it, the county really would have got upset if we would have spent that money to fix that whole building. In my mind, this was kind of a win-win. We get out from underneath the burden of having to take care of it or having to fix it with the possibility, not 100%, but the possibility of it doing some good for this community. But in saying, I understand where you guys are coming from. I mean, the last thing I would want is to own a business on the square and having some guy, knocking on the door asking for money.
Yeah, we've had theft, we've had a girl come in front of us around was a strip ass naked.
See, in
Ass naked. Because we asked her to leave because she was causing a fit.
have you guys taken this to the city?
I'm sorry?
Have you guys taken these issues to the city?
We
were trying to figure
Yes.
out the route to go, but that's probably next.
There's city people and business owners that are very concerned about this issue, and I told them the same thing.
And most of them were just too afraid to
We
say
need
anything.
to let the city people know and here know,
Well, then I would.
because it's an effect of us all.
That's what I would do, and I would contact. I couldn't even tell you who the police chief is. That's terrible. He's sitting here saying that, but it's true. I would take it to him, ask him why this is. It used to be vagrancy was against the law. Unless I'm mistaken, that's still on the books. So how about if we just start using it?
Say, I know our sheriff and the city of Clinton's PD, they've been trying to work together without stepping on one another's toes to help manage the situation. I know it's been awfully tough for them as well, though. I'll let you guys say one further.
I'm going to say something, we won't make it shorter. The big thing is, we had people come in, they come in a couple times, three, explaining the situation, what they're doing. We tried our best, believe me, I know where everybody's coming from, I have to clean up after them too. And the thing is, what we thought it would help serve the purpose to do that, because what the problem is, the roof is in terrible shape. We knew that. It's got to be redone. And they know it. There's some things, well, they said they can get to that. And our case was, yes, it's a problem, and tearing it down to be a problem because there is asbestos in that building. I know. So therefore, that'll all be, and it's very expensive to get everything done. Now, if that would serve the purpose for a while, for 14 days, that is in my mind, I really can't figure how that works, because you got to get them in, got to get their IDs and everything, and then get them a job that they need to be. And they say, no, 14 days, they're gone. I'll agree with that. And Mark and Jake and all of us, we listened. We tried to do our due diligence to listen. We can't, and try to say, okay, we're going to have a public meeting. First off, how many people? And you're going to have 100, 200, 300 people. What is it going to accomplish other than an argument between everybody? I'll agree on that. But one of the things there, we try to do our due diligence up here to look into it. And just like I'll say they talked about it. We did talk about it. And in fact, I thought we had that maybe on film. We should have it now. When they came in and talked, but you probably couldn't see them, but they was a group that came in. That's what they do. And a couple of them used to be homeless, I think, wasn't it? And that's the reason why. That's the reason why they make the decision they did. Now, whether that's gone too far, we haven't finalized everything, but that's where it's at. Now, what they can do, I don't know. That I have to go. I've got two other people that I have to deal with that we all try to discuss it. And we may not all agree all at the same time. Believe me, we disagree. But at the end of the day, we really need to be together and the progress will move on. But if you're always fighting, you'll never get anything done. And I really don't know the answer to what you're all saying. Believe me, I'd love it because I'm close to it too. And the other one, it's crept down this way, but it's around the square.
I
I'll
will
run them off
say,
there.
I will say, I don't want any county money going to it. I mean, I'll tell you that straight up. As far as a grant, once again, I mean, I get it,
Yeah.
it's your money, it's my money, but that's what grants are for.
That's your
It's
higher
for
up people.
You as a
that would do
person,
it.
you know, you may be doing something that he doesn't like, but you both file for it and he gets it. That's the way of the world, guys. That's you know, and I get it. It's your tax money and all of that. But if he doesn't get it, somebody over here may get it that you don't agree with. So that one's kind of a you know. But as far as the county putting money into it, that it's like local that we would put. I don't.
They haven't asked for it.
Yeah, they haven't asked for any,
Nope.
and I
It
will
was
tell
just
you, I won't. I
An
won't
empty
vote
building
against
for them to
So-
use. And they came, the way I understood it, they came to,
So there's no other
Pretty good.
buildings that would be a
Lots of
possible
money.
location for it?
Pardon me?
Is there any other buildings that they could use, like,
we'll have to look around. I don't know what else
I
other
don't know
buildings
what else we
are
know.
around.
I don't think that
That
the
we don't
county
own
owns.
anything else.
Yeah.
I-
No,
Yeah.
nothing county. And that,
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
It was.
And let me, for my part of it, this is not a matter of like or dislike of anything. This is a matter of using the money that is going to be used because they're going to file this organization. They're going to file for grants. They will have to at some point.
Mhm.
And those grants, if they're misappropriated, I rely on the federal agencies that monitor those because there's certain key aspects, and I hope they understand how tough it's going to be right
That's
now.
more a question for Darren.
Yeah, and you also,
Well,
you
and that's
also
why
look into, they may not file for grants because as soon as you get the government involved, like you just said, now
Yes.
it's like, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this,
Yes.
you're gonna do this. That takes the, lack of better terms, Christian helping side out of
Yes.
it. And if it ever got to the point where it was grants, I'm gonna tell you, 100% it won't work. Because whenever you involve the government in anything like that, they can screw it up quicker than anybody can.
Yes.
I mean, I'm all for it. The churches wanted to do this. Hey, you know what?
Yes.
That's the way
Yes.
things used to be. They need to go back.
Yes.
But I mean, I see what you're saying. I do.
I absolutely believe. I've read like I've always told people when they've asked me, I have total dislike for religion, but I have never turned my back on God nor His Son. Never once in my life. With all the stuff I've been through, never once. But here's the difference. The difference is men or women, but humanity in itself. If they're going to use it for ill, well, they're going to have to pay the cost for that, not me. I understand all that. It's all about free will. It really is. And that's the most precious gift that we got other than His Son. But with all these things that we can try to justify it and all this, I'm not looking for justification. I'm looking for pure, plain, ordinary action. I get it. That's why we supported transparency. That's why we wanted this stuff. But I'm not sure if I'm getting it all because there's so many questions that has not been answered. Now, maybe I do need to go somewhere else. For some, I get that, and I'm willing to do that. But what I'm not willing to do is play the guessing game. I ran too many businesses that, honestly, I couldn't afford to play the guessing game or the hope. Yes, there's hope, but you got to have a fixed, this is the target, this is what we're doing, boom, and let's get it done. And if that mentality is not there, then the only people that it hurts, and like you just spoken very well of, it's the surrounding people here that live here, that work here, that have a business here. That's going to be the effect. And that's what I don't want, because it only takes that one couple of times that it's going to happen, and it's going to happen. And some people will say, we can discern and say, well, it's not this group doing it or that group doing it. Well, it's a reflection of them all. It's like if I'm a business owner, business owners have a bad taste for some people, or
I'm sorry, we've
anything.
covered a lot of that. We know about feelings there. Okay,
See,
if we can,
Darren and them's got
thank you.
an outline of a plan that I think would answer that question about on what demographic they're gonna angle for and how they're gonna handle the situation. You know, if they wanna be helped, they'll help them. If not, they're not allowed to come in, basically.
So
If there's
we'll,
empty beds.
We'll try to
they'll
get some
let-
information, get it out.
Yeah,
You might come.
well, and I have also seen it by experience. I'm sorry, my hearing aids just beeped, and so my battery's died. Okay. I have through experience lived with those type of restrictions, and what they do is, what is the art form of it, I call it art form. If they have a 21-day stay at this place or a 14-day stay at this place, you know what they do? They load them up and take them to another facility. You know what's going to happen? Kansas City's going to ship them just like they did in the 90s.
late.
When I was here
They're
working,
already
they're going to ship them down here.
They're
I
good.
guarantee it.
people's already been saying they've been hauling
That's- They have been.
Yes.
Send them out.
See? So they just play the shuttle game. It's 14 days here. Okay, we got to pick you up and we'll take you down, or they'll tell them you need to head down to X facility. And
I
it's,
will say, if this turns out being, I don't know if any of you know about City Youth Commission up in Kansas City. If this turns out to be like the City Union Mission, I don't know if you know about it, this will be a godsend. I will tell you that. Now, in saying that, that is located, which it's not going to be a godsend, in a blighted area. But they have helped an untold number of people come off the street, get their driver's license, get everything, Social Security, all the stuff, find a job, and they're actually now like self-sustaining citizens.
It's a lot like the VCP too.
Yeah.
Darren's basing his program off of.
I mean, we can't sit here and tell you 100% this is going to work. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that. I would say from everything that I know or have read or seen about the man that's running this, I think that he is going to do everything that he says he's going to do to his best ability. I think it will probably work. I think there's going to be some hiccups. I mean, because inevitably what will probably happen is you're over here getting in your car and somebody comes up to you, and I'm not saying you, but, and hey, can I have money? Can I have money? And they'll get blamed. Because that, you see what I'm saying? That kind of is like, you know, you're going to get some of those. I guarantee you're going to get some of those. You just want to be real careful because, you know, I grew up in the ghetto, guys. I mean, trust me, I know the old Mark, you would not want to know. I'm just going to tell you straight up.
Same here. I'm from California.
So, yeah.
Oh my,
I'm from the hood.
I grew up with a dirt floor.
Yeah.
Okay? I know what it's like.
So, you know, anytime that this is just me, anytime that we can help somebody get out of that scenario, I think we deserve to do that. Because obviously everybody sitting in this room, the good Lord is blessed because you're not out of that. You have a job or you had a job or you know. So, but I'm also, I'm not a tree hugger either because if you ask anybody, I don't
So
necessarily.
you believe in responsibility?
Oh, without a doubt.
Okay.
Without a doubt. All you'd have to do is ask the young man sitting back there in the corner filming this, and he'll tell you how I treat people. I mean, I'm very good to you. Cross me, especially when you're working for me. You have no idea. My calm demeanor changes like that because I expect people. I honestly, I expect excellence out of anything I'm involved in. I don't ever make it. I'll say that right up front. But I'm very passionate about what I do, or I'm not going to get involved. I've said this 1,000 times. The men in my family usually die around the age of 70, and I'm getting close. So even this job, if I didn't think I was going to be able to accomplish something, I was enjoying life on my farm at home. I just believe that all of us, you really do owe. This is going to sound crazy, but you really do owe some of these people that are out here on the street because you're supposed to try to help them. You are. I mean, I say that, and in the back of my mind, I'm going, man, it just sucks. But it's the truth. And but you need to do it. You said the key word, responsibly. You have to set ground rules up because those people are so far from having any kind of discipline in their life whatsoever. Until you involve that in them, they're not going to. I mean, it's no different than a little kid. You know, you got a little 2-year-old running around just tearing the hell out of everything. He doesn't know he's doing wrong. A lot of these people have gotten to that point. And the way that we have set society up anymore, some of these people should probably belong in an institution. I mean, they should. You know? So you gotta have to be very careful of how you handle all of this. I'm 100% with you, but then I got the other side that I think if it would work, then it's actually gonna make your square better because you're gonna lose something.
Okay.
So then you understand when Jesus also talked about us giving, it is us giving our money, not our money through taxes.
But I also
And it's also about the responsibility which Jesus spoke very harshly about,
It was.
is those that do not work should not eat. Right?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Okay.
But you also understand what was the second thing that he instituted.
And nobody wants to talk about Jesus said that.
Yeah.
They want to
The
talk about
second
his
thing
love,
he
but they don't want to talk
instituted-
about if you're not working, you don't eat.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, so
we
I mean,
let's go.
guys, we hear you.
Get this.
But I think we probably did what we needed to do, and I think we did what we thought was best.
Yeah.
For not only the
Trying to
county,
help.
but yeah.
So if I understood it right, then if there's asbestos over here, is there a possible, complications later coming out of that?
If they never,
We have
if they
homeless
keep it covered up, it's kind of like anybody else. If you buy a building, as long as you keep it covered up, it's fine.
Right, but it's
That's-
been,
But if it's ever changed,
If you
that's
go to
when
do
you have
work
to get
on it,
into.
then
Then you have to have it.
because I used to work in that building, and I know it was,
Well,
that's why I'm saying, I've been here 3 times.
you actually can't do any work in that building unless you, at least in certain areas and certain types of jobs without having it abated.
it's
It's gotta be abated. It's gotta be done by a company that is qualified.
Well, like I said, I for one, I'm going to oppose it. I'm going to continue to oppose it. I understand where you're coming from, but I know this has been tried many times here. And I know what happened to the city because of it. And that's all I can do. I understand where you're coming from. I appreciate that. I do. But I'm going to be on the opposing side of it.
And I understand. I understand totally.
Okay.
Appreciate you guys coming in though. I mean, that's,
And I gotta
Thank
run
you
over
for
to work.
listening.
Thank
We're
you.
with- Thank y'all for coming.
appreciate it.
Okay. Sir, was you wanting to speak? Nope, okay.
The email address was set up for the road,
Yes,
for the images. Everybody's emailing it, so, any of the concerns I've been forwarded to, if it's north side, I send it to Mark, if it's south side, I send it to Jake, so
Actually, that's perfect.
you both got emails this morning.
Yeah, I'm in the process of replying back to one now. You said you've been hearing from everybody?
I've heard from 4 so far. Bear Creek is awesome. I don't know if this is on camera, but thank you, Bear Creek. Those guys, they sent pictures, everything's detailed, I got everything I need. But we still need more we need all the townships to participate.
So you haven't heard from all the townships yet? Okay.
I'm gonna send out another round of emails.
you heard from 4 so
Yeah.
far?
How close are we
I
to
don't
it?
even know where Bear Creek is, but
South.
south of it.
Montrose.
Okay.
Cold.
I gotta learn where all the townships are.
Let's see where,
So I sent you a deep water one this morning, Jake.
Yeah. No,
down in there, I think they have more than 2.
you sent me a
Oh,
musical.
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, Tidewater this morning.
Gotcha.
Deepwater, Tidewater, they're close enough. Next door.
Next door.
And then I sent you one on 1251 and
651.
651.
1250.
That's actually not a bad issue to have, even if they're emailing that. At least you're getting it in writing, and it's there. You know.
Yeah.
Well,
I like the way it's working.
if,
Yeah, I
if
think
they'll
it's
do
great.
that, it's all set up to send on in.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing about it.
Yeah, so
They'll
Yeah.
do the pictures and do everything.
I think
it's
it's
been up
great.
for a week, but it's been great.
Good.
What's the other three that you heard
I have it written out on my desk.
from? Okay.
I'll send it up. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
So I did not make the last meeting, and I know there was questions about where some of the stuff is at the old building. The computers
Yes.
that were in the library,
They were sent.
they were sent back to the state. SEMA came and picked those up.
They were wondering about the stuff that was before that. It should be in the shed.
The stuff before that. You talking about all the laptops out in the shed? Okay, they're still in the shed then. So as far as the laptops, they're in the shed. The monitors are still on the wall, the ones that they were talking about. The cameras are still in the building. None of that's been removed.
A lot of it's outdated now.
Yeah, very outdated.
You're-
The trailer is up and running. It's over at the bridge barn. I've just had all the radios reprogrammed and updated to where they have the new digital frequencies and whatnot. So that's still in play. It's parked at the bridge barn right now. It's going to be parked out at the Calhoun station inside whenever we get done with it, so we can get it back out over there.
And as we go along, all that stuff, anything that's got the county,
And then
shut. I think we've got an inventory somewhere.
Yeah, we do.
right?
And then the two generators, there's two generators inside that shop.
Yeah.
And they both get started monthly and
Yeah.
load testing and, oh gosh, Double A is gonna come out and actually service. It's the one on wheels is due for service, so they're gonna be servicing it whenever they come and move the other generator to the courthouse. So. Yeah, the old laptops are they're in the storage out there. They're not good for anything, but they're way old. I tried turning one of them on, it won't turn off. But we still have them.
Okay.
So I wanted to make sure, we know, since I didn't make the last meeting.
Everything, like I said, we should have an inventory. of
Yeah, we do.
everything. And where it's at, that's a big thing. And let's see.
We are working with Casinger, with Dylan. We're getting the storm shelter added to our hazard mitigation plan, the HMP. The state has opened it up. Once we get that added to our plan, we can go to the state and apply for a grant for storm shelters. So we're gonna meet. We talked with Dylan. We're just gonna track him down and hold it down and get it added to our
Yeah,
hazard mitigation plan. So we're in the process of doing that too. questions, concerns, emotional outbursts? I think we should start having commissioners meetings at 6:30 in the morning.
I disagree. All in favor? Unless I get to leave here at like 2:30 in the afternoon, and then we can talk.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Dennis, there's anybody from Dennis?
Mark, you gonna go out on the road this afternoon after the meetings?
I'm leaving in about 4 minutes.
I'll probably call you today.
Just driving.
Well, in that case, I'm
I'm going down to do that right now because when they
Dennis.
walk in and
He's
they
coming
see
up.
you.
He's coming around the square.
Oh. All right. Here we are.
Did you see this beautiful piece of equipment?
They got a new print.
Really?
It's not hooked
I
up,
was
but it's
thinking-
here.
I was thinking you had a bench. I'll tell you that back.
Yeah, I need a new table. I used what I had.
That's right. It worked, didn't it?
I can copy from it right now, but Chuck's got to get it on the secure network to be able to print. But it's here. It's
It
present.
will Wi-Fi print.
It will, but it has to be secure.
It has it. Okay. Yeah. He's got to check.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll work a lot better.
It copies really fast.
Yeah, a fellow Californian.
Boy,
Yeah, I took.
did you bring everybody in? Bruce, did you? Are you the one that brought all the California
But I was
out?
from Northern California.
Oh, okay.
It's a little different. But we did have homeless problem there too.
It's nowadays, it's so common.
And they were just housing.
that you don't have.
Well, that's it.
They were just
Probably
housing
have.
people too. They weren't.
Yeah.
In fact, they were with the unemployment wages during COVID. We figured they were making $30,000 a year plus getting food and free shelter.
Yeah.
So they're doing better than a lot of us.
I mean, you can go up into Overland Park and find people on the corners
Go panhandle.
panhandling, and then when they get done, if you watch it stay long enough, you'll watch them go getting hands 5 or 6 other people.
They're not on the floor, so that's what happens.
So, you know, it's, some of it is real, and some of it is, I don't want to work, it's a scam. Down here, I don't know about, but honestly, that was surprising. So, you're not gonna get away from it. You got issues that need to be changed way before you're ever get rid of the
Well, a lot of the issues are probably moral anyway. The cultures were tanked. We're reaping the results.
There's that pastor over in Raytown, because they try to work with homeless and stuff. He got one who's dropping off where he wanted to go, and he actually opened up a little bit. He says, they will, around here anyway, if you have that to give me, that means that you're, wherever you're from, your house or whatever, you have more, I'm gonna come and get it. They've been broken into so many times. I mean, you can't, some of them, if you give them help, you owe it to them, and then they're gonna want more. So,
it's a mindset.
and then you talk to someone and said, I'm here, I don't want to be, how do I get out of it? So,
That's Pastor, maybe you.
I think it's just like putting a microscope further down on our society. It's just our society, but in a smaller and more worse, you know, the worst case scenario for society. You got the ones that are so bad, I want all I get. I'm doing what I'm going to do to get it.
Yeah. morning. Been waiting on you, Jim. Where you been?
My wife's cousin's husband, he was one of the founders of BCP. He would carry backpacks with sandwiches, stuff, and he would offer that to somebody that was needing a hand up. And the ones that didn't take it, they left behind. Or did they just want the money? Back, he said he had a couple asks for money. But now you can have this.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
You ready for me?
yes, sure.
We're still repairing flood damage from last week. This week, I guess, up to the northwest part of the county, they got hammered again up there with a bunch of rain, and it started problems all over again. So we're back up there working and trying to get roads resolved and fixed. I'll just give you a heads up, Mark. I'm gonna recommend to one of your townships to use part of their money, their Cartwright money, to get a bunch of culverts replaced. They've let them go for so many years, and I've had some of them marked for 4 to 6 years, 4 years that I've been here, and they're just rotted. 651, one of them. Well, that's a road that's got some on it, but it's a road that got washed pretty good too. So, I mean, that 1400, they got 4 or 5 pipes on that one that's just has to be replaced. I mean, it's to a point that every time it rains, it just washes the bank off and washes the road off. So it's to a point that they need, if they ain't got the funds in their checkbook, they need to use their Cartwright money, come in and ask you guys for approval to use it for extensive culvert repairs in their township, because they really need it. I mean, they got the previous board, nothing against them or nothing, they just didn't replace culverts like they needed to. Has Tina ever gotten a hold of you? Who? Tina? As far as Kyle, that fence? I'm afraid to see what it looks like after all the rain we've gotten, like that ditch. What road's that? You remember, didn't I send you the picture on it? It was something where his fence, the water was coming across the culvert, but it was hitting where his fence was, and the whole ditch.
Didn't you say it was full of cattails and stuff like that?
Well, no, this one wasn't, but we had
Okay.
talked about needing riprap put there to keep it from. If you sent me pictures of it, I've done something with it. I don't remember getting. Okay, I'll send them to you. Now we do have, I'm getting ready to go talk to the city of Clinton, because, I received a call last night about that culvert, and, when I looked it up on Integrity today, it's just on the inside of the city limits of Clinton, so it's a culvert that they will need to replace. So otherwise, we're patching roads, plugging along. With your guys' blessing, I need to put up for bid a truckload of 6-inch channel for bridge building, because I'm out. So if you guys give me the go ahead, I'll get the specs typed up, get them to Kelly today, and she can get it out for bid. It's something that we haven't bought since I've been here. A truckload of channel lasts for several years. It's just it's $50,000 that's going to be popping out of my budget. You need to make a motion. Just approve.
Just approve it.
Yeah.
It's gotta bid it out. That's what he's got to do.
So
I'll get the specs to you later today or tomorrow, Kelly, so we can get it next week's paper and get the bids over the week after.
Okay.
Mark, you got anything for me?
Nope.
Like I said, go ahead and send that picture to me again because evidently I haven't seen it.
Okay.
And I'll look in my spam mail. Maybe you're some spam. I don't know.
Tebow, 1100 Road. Who is that? Kevin does the grading there. Do you know?
Tebow. That's going to be Charlie Fields and
Lane, you know?
John Abney.
Lane Taft.
Anyway, Kevin no longer blades for them.
You know who does?
Last I was told, Tony Trollinger was doing it.
Needs a few lessons.
So,
You might take a drive down 1100 if you can get down.
if that's the one I'm thinking of, I've already received one complaint from Beth Williams, and I told her that I would pass it on, and I have passed it on to the township that they need to get a blade out there and smooth that road up.
They bladed it, but it looked like they bladed it when it was raining.
Another thing is they're cutting, and I'm not bad mouthing any of the
I already
townships.
know where you're going.
But he's just like any other township. They're cutting a secondary ditch in front of the primary.
They're piling that dirt up.
Instead of cutting the edge off at the edge of the ditch,
Right.
they're cutting it off at the edge of the road, and they're creating a secondary ditch on the inside.
Yeah.
And I'm not bad mouthing no blade operator. I mean, it's just something that takes time and know how to do to make sure you're doing it right.
See, that's where the
that road
that
maintainer.
bird name did. You didn't see it, did you?
I didn't go up there for it.
That thing was slick. It really is. That would alleviate.
Take it out of the commissioner's money. I'll buy it. I'll take it on anytime. I have no budget, so she's done got my budget. I mean, gotta blame somebody.
It's all right, I'll take it.
So anyway, but that's what they're doing, and
Yeah.
I'm not
There's 8.
I'm not bad mouthing nobody. I get that on too.
There's 8 to 10
You
inches.
talk right here and you
Dirt
get
grass.
on camera.
So, but
Yeah, it's the edge of the road. It's that high, and then the ditch is over here.
so
That's why
it's a
road's
secondary.
washed
It's a
out.
secondary ditch in front of the primary,
Yeah,
and that's where the water's going to start traveling.
Then
now.
you got another ditch.
So, and right now we got enough gully washers all over this county that we don't need any more. The blades have been out running, and my guys have been out running trying to get things patched up. But we right now we can't stay ahead of it. So, you got anything for me, Jake?
I've asked you about this before, but Jim asked about this morning, and I forgot your answers. What's the update for the DNR bridge inspections for Southwest 1101 and Southwest 900?
Bear Creek, Deepwater, and Whack.
Yeah. We talked about it a while back.
We
but
got
I've
it
done
on
what
old
you said.
business, and I thought that was going to be handled when the bridge inspector came, but I don't remember anything about it. That's why I was wondering.
What's those bridges?
I didn't say
It's
it.
roads.
I just said road numbers.
Southwest 1101 and Southwest 900 from Bear Creek, Deepwater.
Wait a second, that's that one that in Bear Creek that thought it was a goner. Conservation or Corps is working with Eddie on that horseshoe thing, I believe, isn't it?
900's down there where the horseshoe pit
Okay.
is, where DNR is coming. They're wanting to reclaim part of this one land on 900, but there's a pit there that goes from that pit across 2 county roads and over into another pit, and it's like 180 feet long. And it's a 48-inch pipe. They have no money to do it, and I'm not going to float a loan for them to do it. And so they're trying to get DNR to come in and reclaim part of that one horseshoe pit and include all that in on the project and get it all replaced at one time. Is that the same intersection?
I'd have to look up where 1101 crosses, but I'm thinking that's exactly what you're talking about.
I'll try not to read
So I
that.
think that's the
That's all right.
process
Go with me
going
until-
through.
Yes, it is, Jake.
Okay.
It's all the same work area. It crosses 900 and then crosses 1101.
I think we can take that off the old business.
Okay.
Thank
Do
you.
what?
We were seeing if we needed to keep it on
Okay.
old business or if we could remove it.
Oh yeah. It's old business because
I
when
thought-
DNR gets involved, it could be drug down the road for a year or two.
I gotta get out of there. I
So
can't
listen.
fix it, Kelly.
At least that answered it. But
I don't need
I
you
couldn't
to
remember
fix
and I
it.
didn't
I'll
write
fix
it
it.
down, so now I did.
You don't
Yes,
need
But I don't
to
have
fix
it.
anything.
All right.
you'll still forget.
Thank you.
Jim, you got anything for me?
Nope, that's a main question.
Kelly, you got anything?
Hmm?
Am I excused, boss?
Excuse.
Health employees.
Oh, you had to ask that question.
Should have got out of here faster, Dennis.
Do you want me to rewind and just head out the door?
I've already lost one.
So that did happen.
Huh?
You did because of that license or whatever issue.
Yes.
Okay.
As of yesterday morning, we went ahead and parted ways. We're plugging along and seeing how the second one does, and the third one's going and getting his taking his CDL permit right now.
Okay.
So one of the two that you thought would be longevity has made almost 2 weeks. The other one's already out the door. So
that happens.
anyway, you're right, Jake. I can run them off faster than I can keep them.
Did I say that?
Pretty much in a nutshell. As a matter of fact, I think you said, I think I worked for you 6 or 7 years. I know how you are.
Yeah.
Ladies and gents, have a great day.
All right.
Thanks, Dennis.
Okay. Okay. All right. We got everything updated, got that.
Is Aaron coming in?
We'll back up.
No,
Okay.
he's coming in Tuesday.
Okay.
He's on the agenda,
Well,
or is it?
he
Maybe.
had me add him to new business because he didn't know when he was going to come in. And then I thought he was going to come in today, so I just added him on there so that he would be in there because he didn't know when.
Okay.
And then I talked to him this morning, told him that he had a 10:30, and he said, "Well, it's Tuesday." So I was so I went ahead and added him on Tuesday, so
Okay.
we can take him off of new business.
Oh no, it's fine. I just was curious.
Has Scott and Mark, have they hired another person?
They have hired a part-time person.
They hired a part-time.
hmm I think he's working like 1 day a week, like an 8-hour stretch.
Is that the one where we budgeted $51,000?
No, that's in Mark's office.
That's for Sunny, right?
No, that was, I'm
No,
not sure how that.
no,
Uh,
sure wasn't.
it was for an assessor employee is what it was for.
Right.
But I think, Mark is picking up some of that. He's going out and doing pictures and stuff for the assessor, so. I'm not sure where they're at, but I do know that Scott hired a part-time person.
I have some questions, and I don't know if we need to go into closed session to bring.
If it's about a case, yes,
It
we
is,
need
it
it.
is.
I'll tell you
You
what,
should
we got,
probably do that.
when we do that, that'd be better off.
Yeah.
One of the things there, and appreciate all the comments, but when we have a group and talking, what I've been told, or what I've, I go ahead and present the questions, and then go ahead and talk about answer, try to do a group and make it a little shorter, lot quicker. Main thing is to answer each question, just like Chuck, when he got off then, he's coming back asking the same questions over and over. And then he just dogs out that meeting, and we need to go ahead and move ahead. That's my big thing. So, okay.
Hey, Ken.
Anyway, on that, let's see. Can we go
What are
in
you looking
closed
at me for?
session? Do we need to do that before?
That's if you
we have
if you guys want to, you
Yeah,
can. I
but-
mean, Ivan's
I
at
guess-
10:30,
Okay.
so if you wanted to go
Go
ahead
ahead and
and
We got 15 minutes.
Oh, that'd be, yeah, I'd say we just do it and do it quick.
okay.
Okay.
I've just, a couple of questions.
Clarification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion. We go
I'll
into closed
second.
session.
Motion been made, second, we go in closed session. Board roll call, Mark.
Yes.
Jake, yes.
Jim, yes. Back to camera.
Back to life.
Okay.
They just move your stuff out in the hallway when you disappear.
When you leave,
How long is this recording? Gonna be 5 minutes?
No, it's gonna be more than that. Scott Largent
yes,
said that he and Rick are ready to talk about SB 190 if you guys have time.
yep,
Yep.
yes,
We need to go back in open session.
You just did.
we did.
I thought we were in close.
Well, we
Or
we
came
still
out
open.
closed.
We're still open.
Oh,
We just went closed session. I was in open.
I don't know. Now I'm confused.
We didn't go out of closed session.
I take it back.
We didn't adjourn. I'll put it down. Kelly, I'm getting all the time this space qualification notification.
I got that too. Chuck told me not to worry about it.
Oh, okay. I'll just can I kill it? Delete it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you guys want to talk to them, I will have them come up
Yep.
when it's convenient for them.
Yes.
Okay.
Mark, do I complain to you about Booth Road?
That's the city's job.
Not that part. Not that part.
I'm not sure if that's mine or not.
Yeah,
It's north
It
of
is.
Ohio.
Okay.
It is.
Better now.
it's
The one
you.
with all the,
The two pothole areas.
is that got asphalt in it?
Yeah,
It does
it's
have.
got a couple of wheel benders.
See, I gotta be brutally honest. I get mine.
Yeah,
Somebody needs to decide if that's city or if that's county, and if it's county, I say scrape it all up, and put gravel down.
that part is,
Seriously, look at,
that
I'm
part
gonna get
is,
somebody's
that
kids
part
to
is
that,
county.
that way we can get it here. Booth Road. If it's cities,
I got
take
a
it.
complaint about my 500.
Do you now?
Now that we brought them up, hey, now that we brought them up,
You're gonna wind up
You've got
paying for a
two bad
motorcycle rim
places.
again.
Oh,
That happened
we got
several
two
years
bad
ago.
places.
say that, I
The
didn't hear
So
you.
the county's gonna wind up paying somebody for another motorcycle rim. A couple of years ago, I hit that problem.
See, everybody's laughing, I'm dead serious. They need to decide which it is. We don't have any way to take care of asphalt.
Yeah.
So let's just take it back to gravel. And if people complain,
Everything above Old York Highway is,
And most of it is mud.
Yeah.
Well, then he goes
anything
down
north of
Lenny's
Old
house.
York Highway intersection. Where's it at?
Couldn't pull back on
Yeah.
it. Put it, so held up, oh, it was good for a day until it rained.
There's
When it rained.
gonna bend somebody's wheel.
That's too bad.
I mean, I get it, it needs to be handled.
Listen,
It's some
It
bull.
needs to be handled every time.
say,
I'm
I'm saying now that but I said he was trying too fast. But
Yeah.
he was. Well, I say, just like when I did it, I just think,
I mean, if we don't have a way to take care of it,
It needs more than a patch anyway. Those two areas have been patched enough. They need mill and fill.
and then.
Yeah. Well, you're,
But
patches don't last very long.
No, no,
And that's all that is.
Right
It's
now.
just a waste of time.
Blade down here, you're just gonna make things worse.
that just protects the cars until you get out there and do it right.
Right.
That's all.
Okay. They're on the way up.
I told them we were ready when they were.
Okay.
Who's that?
Scott.
Scott
Rick.
and Rick.
Or Scott there.
You stopped by? You stopped by earlier?
Yeah, I wanted to see that plat for across the street from me.
Mm-mm.
It was it just did not show the city zone on it. Is that R1?
It does, I don't know how up to date it is, but that's Chuck. But I think it's ag.
Hey,
I still
Kelly,
have to get it.
Yes.
when you get a second, could you print off the resolution that Rick typed up, that you printed off for me the other day?
Yeah, I don't like that too.
So they can read it.
Oh, the county one?
Yes.
Zoning. That's a single.
I give them
that's a
mine, but I
R1
got a
area.
bunch of
That's a
scratches
very
and stuff on it.
I need more.
Scratches.
Yeah,
I may not be able,
barely.
I may not be able to get to it from here because that's on,
But it's.
You can't.
Oh, okay.
I can get to my computer, but I
Oh, I
can't
know.
get to it.
Oh, you
I
can't
can't
get
get
to
to
a
my
printer.
other computer in the other
That
office.
makes sense.
I can get to my computer, but I can't get to Rick's computer. It's not really Rick's computer, but the one he used to have. Well, it is, but it's not.
I don't want to
I
say
mean,
it. I have the
it's
same problem. I've got one computer. I can get another one.
I already checked
That's the one that
Bill.
came in from Kelly. Rick typed
You
it.
can't put
I
them all-
found it in Rick's files.
Yeah,
Put
it
it
still
in the
has
paper.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dale and
And who reads?
Yeah, I think it was just like an old
Yeah.
prototype.
Yeah.
but,
But I thought anything that they own, you had to go to a zoning board.
I do have it downstairs if
Go
you
on.
want a copy.
Everybody's got
Is this the hot seat?
That's it.
I was thinking maybe they might want to look at it. 'Cause I think a lot of it work. We just gotta,
Fine tune it.
yes,
Detached garage. He said we can only do one livable.
because after we
It's R1.
Barton
So I'd
County,
have to do the
it's
R2.
a
Was you watching us live on YouTube?
To my house,
No.
so I'll have to go out.
Shame.
We're trying to
You what?
settle the month of April.
And he told me that I'd have to, pay for the permit. And then put an ad in the paper, but I didn't have to contact the neighbors.
although
So it's kinda hard to know if something's going through, you know?
Yeah, I can't. It's on that other computer. I can't find it, Jake. So I'll look when I.
Okay.
after Mark's done, I'll slide it over to Jim and take a look at it.
Well, I can go get a couple of blank copies real quick if you guys don't mind. I'll just run down and get you some.
Okay.
Just don't talk about me while I'm gone because I'll see it on the video.
See ya.
We need to wait till it gets back. We all got everything lined out.
We got a lot more information. But it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Quickly. It's just the logistics of it are what we need to discuss. It's kind of in depth.
My main question is, since the software costs $20,000, is that something we got to bid out, or is there another company?
Is there more than one company that does it?
Well, that would be inside of the software that we already have.
It's gotta be able to talk to it.
That's what Kelly said. I wasn't real for sure.
I mean, that's almost like an update to the existing software. So I don't know. That's a y'all thing.
Answer your question.
Because it's proprietary software and they're not going to open it up to let just anybody
Right.
mess with their
We're
software.
gonna wait for Kelly to get here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming. I was wondering where you said it there.
For some odd reason. Silence. Got the better of me. Are we good?
I kind of like this.
Yeah.
Kelly's gone and y'all have to be silent.
Your hair all right?
I think so. I'll have to check the camera later.
Rick, ours is gonna be shiny.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Just gotta start bracing it, guys.
Yeah. Jeez, that's what I need to do now, and that's why I feel my wife. Anyway. Oh, heck.
give me a cup of coffee.
I think we got some.
Yeah, there's,
Why don't you take that
there may be a little bit left, Rick.
Say there's probably enough for one more small cup or two more.
Why don't you take the little refrigerator down there and set it in the hallway?
Let's wait till there's ice in it first.
Did they go to her car, or where'd she go?
Then she would make coffee.
She had to go back, she had to go to your office, print off
Accountant.
the sheets. Print this off. The- What you typed up quite a while ago.
Well, I think that was the most up to date 756
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I saw there was another bill out. I don't know if it's going anywhere. I mean, they have a week to pass the budget, and then another week to pass whatever else they're going to pass. They may be pretty much done this year. If it hasn't made it all the way through, it's not going. Unless they attach it to everything. To clarify something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got it.
Okay. You want to start over?
I don't even remember how I started to begin
I
with.
don't even know what you're talking about. I can't remember what the question
I
was.
remember the question. Whenever Kelly's ready.
I'm ready.
The 20,000 that it costs for the software, if we have to bid it, or if there's other companies out there. But with you saying that the software lines up with the software we've already got, I don't know.
It's got to be able to communicate with what we already have. I think it being a single source product, we just have to put in the minutes that it is a single source. I think it's not only a single source, but it's part of the software that he already has.
Okay.
It's just
It's an addition
An update.
to.
Yeah,
almost
not like buying new software.
And then his software talks to my software because we have the same company for that stuff. And I don't know. I haven't checked with him to see exactly what it's going to take for ours, but I think there has to be some changes to mine as well.
So it'll be more than something.
We'll have to talk to him.
Yeah.
I don't think the cost is going to be as much for us as it was for some of the other counties. Number one, we're smaller, but that doesn't really have an effect on it. But they've already made some changes in some other counties, so the economy of scale, I mean, they're changing the same software, so I mean, it has to be tweaked for our county and the way we do things, which is the base is probably already done, which makes it a lot more reasonable than what it started out as. Because I was hearing 70, 80, 90,000
When it started.
early on, and now we're down to 20. Yeah, he does what, 40 counties? Software 40, between 40 and 50. So, but that's just the base software package, and then each county is individualized from there to meet their specific needs. So it's not like he can just change it on one thing and it changes, because all of our screens are a little bit different.
Yeah.
So he's got to make it all work with each individual county. And then, but transferring to a different vendor would be hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think it'd be problematic.
Yeah.
And the last time we looked at changing software, it was hundreds of thousands and 6-year transition period.
Okay. Have we all talked about how to getting the footprint, or what are we gonna do?
This is really the ball is really in your court. I mean, it doesn't matter to us. Number one, you need to do it. We need to do it. It's the right thing to do.
Okay.
Now, going forward, is there some potential liability? Absolutely. Some people think there is, some people think there's not. I don't know, but you just need to know that there is the potential out there. But we need to do it as a county because it's the right thing to do. That being said, it would be most advantageous to, I think, for Rick and my office to use the same verbiage that we use for the property tax credit, which is the home in up to 5 acres, just like the property tax credit.
So most of them are doing that.
Well, you would think so, but it would be problematic for us to say, okay, Missouri property tax credit, which is already on the books, and we already do it, we've been doing it for years, has the house in 5 acres. If we change that for this product, they might qualify for both, and then that just throws everything into the turmoil because it's two completely different whole deals. So you really need to look at the house and up to 5 acres for both. That would be easiest for us. Not to mention that it's going to be, Rick's going to have a lot of work, but apparently it looks like we're going to have a lot of work. And we just hired somebody part-time that we're going to transition to full-time, as soon as we can. And that's out of that money because we're also covering some of the other items with the addressing and the 911 and all that stuff. So, but this was not software changes for our office that are going to need, if any. He might be able to take care of that. I think you budgeted some.
I did budget for software upgrade, and the way I visit with Brett's the guy that makes the software.
Kyle does mine. Brett, they're brothers.
Yeah.
They said they like dueling dueling desks and pianos or whatever.
I didn't feel that he said there was an additional charge to the assessor stuff because it's like the one single software package that we both use.
And I hope that that's true.
Mhm.
But we will find out for sure on that. But the other thing is that it's not as easy as just putting a check mark in a box and saying, okay, it's all done, let's just push the button and it's all good. Because then I am expecting between 2,000 and 3,000 people to sign up for it. Okay. And
there's probably about that many eligible.
Yeah.
Not how many sign up for it.
So whenever you start looking at the 2,000 and 3,000, which I think is a great thing, then we have to break it down to the house in 5 acres. And then you have to decide which structures. Is it just the house? Is it the house and the garage? Is it a detached garage?
Is it a condo where only the half they live in is
And that's
exempt,
what
but
you
the
got
one
to
they're
say.
making money on is
And
not.
not only that, but I have to do it every year. It changes all the time. It is quite and we have to go out and we have to verify all of the information. So that's in addition to the 4,000 that we're going to now. We're going to have to go to 2,000 more potentially.
If you do the house in 5 acres, would it be simpler to do the house in 5 acres and whatever is within that 5 acres? Because then it'd be the same every year unless somebody built something or tore it down.
Yes and no. Yes, it would be much simpler because it piggybacks onto the property tax credit. But the property tax credit, let's just say you have a home and a detached garage, which is great, but you also run your business in that same 5 acres. Is the business building going to be part of that? That's not really part of the homestead exemption. Do you get an extra advantage in freezing your taxes on your business because
you're right out of your garage,
or a separate building that's still on your 5 acres? There's a lot of more stuff. It's not just easy as you think.
I see what you're saying.
Or if you're and I agree, but and what if you have a 100 by 400 chicken house on your 5 acres? Does that get exempt too? Do you get your taxes frozen on that, or a big giant garage, or your silos, and where's
How do you
the
draw the
Is there
5
any way
acres?
to write it up when you write that exempts any business that is being run out of a home?
Generally, the property tax credit is written in such a way, and the way that we interpret the way it's written is that it's the house and any immediate residential structure up to 5 acres. So ag is not covered under that. They're already at 12% instead of 19 or 32. And
would that have been like the definition for real property, what you just said.
It would be the definition under the property tax credit, the homestead.
Okay.
And so it would just be the residential, and it would only be a residential building that's like an extra garage or an extra, like a detached 2-car garage or something like that that belongs with the residence. And it wouldn't cover commercial and it wouldn't cover ag. I mean,
And then you got to
How would
decide
you-
whether or not.
but then I have to go through every single building, and some of them are 40 buildings, and decide whether it's part of that.
What about the house in 5 acres? Okay, do you make a radius for your 5 acres, or how do you do that?
What we
You
would
wanna-
know, if you live on 10 acres, we already, not completely, but we're working to make a house in 5 acres, just 5 acres. Any excess land of 5 acres goes to ag, because that's legitimate. Some people say, we only have 3 acres, and a homestead is 5. Well, it's the value that goes into the acres. It's the site prep, it's the septic system, it's the water or well, it's all of that stuff. Getting electric to the house, getting water to the house, and all that stuff. That all goes into a home site. And even if you just have a piece of ground, if you're on 1 acre, it's still this amount of money. If you're on 5 acres, it's less per acre, but it's the same amount of money. And then anything excess is listed as ag.
I think most of those that apply be in the cities. So
Most of them, yes.
Yeah, so there'll be some situations where you'll have to. But there's a lot of folks here that have a detached garage.
Sure. And a detached garage that's a no-brainer. It needs to be included. I don't know.
Well, you're not gonna have that 4 or 5 acres away.
Correct. But no, we don't do a radius, but we just put the 5 acres into residential, and the rest of it we leave in ag, because that's the lowest value that we have.
Is that? Oh, sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just got one quick question. Does that explanation need to be in like the resolution itself?
I think if in the resolution, and I have not read any of the other people's. There are some counties that have done it already that have done a pretty good job. Some of them are pretty loose. It just all depends.
I know Benton County's carving out the house from the shed, from the detached garage. They're just doing the house, period.
And I think if it's a house and a detached garage, and people are using it as a residential and not as a business, not anything else, then it needs to be together. It's just easier. It's a little bit more work for us. It's a lot more work for us, but that's the right thing to do.
The question I was going to ask, so let's say we get this all put together, we get it out, get it written up, the whole shebang. It's still not going to go into effect for a while, right? And the reason I'm asking this is because I know for a fact there's 2 or 3 people right now that have put together a bunch of everything they need to have the people vote on it, which, I'm trying to figure out how to say this so it sounds right. It alleviates any lawsuit or anything like that. It's over. If they vote on it, nobody can sue anybody. They can't come after anybody because the way it was done that way. So my question, I guess, would be to you guys, because this is kind of your forte more than probably us. If it's all going to transpire, it's all going to come to fruition at, say, this date, no matter which way we go, which do you think would be better, to have the people do it?
Well,
because you alleviate some problems. I know we look like, hey, we're not doing our job, and I trust me, I'm hearing that. But if we can avoid the issue of any type of lawsuit, and it's still gonna, it's like it's not gonna happen tomorrow. It's gonna happen on the date that the election takes place or whatever. What's the difference?
That's a very valid point.
It is. It cuts. It may look like it's cutting our legs out from underneath us, and we don't probably look as good because it took us excuse me, so long to get this done. But I don't even care about that. If this needs, I'm with you, Scott. This needs to be done. But if we're gonna do it, and I mean, I'm pretty sure we're gonna do it. Why not do it in such a manner that it's done? It's
Well, you
all-
know, I think the statute has a ballot question that you have to use for that. Shall the commission adopt Senate Bill 190, whatever it is.
Right, right.
So you still have to create the ordinance.
Right.
So it's
Right.
still
No,
So the
yeah,
ballot
I get
question,
that. I get
the
that.
ballot question doesn't say we're going to carve out your home from this and that. I
Right.
mean, that's not a
Right.
legal petition.
Or we're
ballot
only gonna
question.
collect from this entity and
Right.
not this
On top of
entity,
which,
so it's still on us.
And every group that you talk to, they're going to have a different opinion because lawyers are
County
lawyers, and
Commissioner's
they're all
Office,
going to
this
have
is Kelly,
different
may I
opinions.
help you?
But I don't think it'll leave all the ballot question
Hi,
says
Alan.
shall they do it? Yes, you shall. You're still doing it, and it doesn't alleviate any potential litigation.
Yeah, he's not
Even
there.
even if it went to a vote of the people,
No, he's up
there's
here.
there's ordinances and
And no,
statutes all the time that are deemed wrong that
yes.
they have to undo later. I mean, that doesn't
Right.
change anything.
Mhm.
I mean, potentially it's there, and you just have to realize that it's always there. But you have to be prepared, and I don't think it's going to.
I don't either.
But you have to be prepared. What's going to happen if 3 years down the road they decide this is not, you can't do this? You're one elected group trying to change what another political entity has already passed, and you're changing that without whatever.
Right.
And
We if it was voted on, we can't.
well, you sure they voted on the school levies are the ones. I mean, that's the logical one that's going to be agreed. I mean,
Right.
they're going to say you can't do it. And again, I don't want to get into that because I don't think it's going to happen. But you have to be prepared. Rick is going to be keeping track of all that. Is the county going to refund all that money that they've saved, or are they going to send a supplemental bill to the people who signed up for it? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, it doesn't change values for me at all. It doesn't matter to me. But I think that the people need to be fully aware of what's going on and the potential for it to come back. I don't think it is. The people that I've talked to said it's always possible when you're dealing with legal stuff. But who knows?
Have you talked with the schools?
Not our local schools. But I've talked to some outside of our, it's always better for me to, I don't want to get it so much on the local level. I want people to feel free to speak to me openly. So I know a lot of people around the state from different districts and big districts and little districts, and I've talked to them. And, they are in a wait and see. I mean, they don't know what it's going to affect. Christian County did this and last year, and the total savings for the entire county was like less than $1,500 for all the seniors that applied. Now that wasn't a reassessment year, and I get it, but they spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and man hours, and it saved less than $1,500 across the whole county.
And they have the same software.
So, it's a wait and see, and you certainly need to do it because I think going forward years and years, it's going to have a major impact on some of these people who have very limited incomes.
Oh, I agree. I really do
But
agree.
I also don't think, in general, and this is getting way down into the weeds. I mean, people don't realize that if the value of your house goes up 50%, it doesn't mean a 50% increase in taxes. I mean, at all. Because a school district or a taxing entity, any of them, they get what they got last year, plus the CPI number, plus any new construction. That's it. And if I cut the values in half or I double them, they get the same exact amount. That just the levies change to equal. So, I mean, it's not a windfall for anybody. So, and that's very hard to explain, and you can't put it in a letter, and you can't put an article in the paper and then try to explain that.
Till they get their tax.
Well, sure, and
That's when they'll-
the bad part is that some people have been undervalued for a long time. Some people are actually overvalued, and we try to change that. So we have quite a number of people that are actually going to have probably a decrease this year, but we have a lot of people that are going to have an increase, and that's just it's always a balancing act, because ours is not just value. Then there's price related differential, and I mean there's all kinds of other numbers inside of our numbers that we have to follow with the state tax commission to make sure that the people on the higher end are paying the share, the lower end. And I always tell them, I said, look, I can't really deal with all your numbers, and I can't look at all these. I just have to do what's right and put the value on what the value is. And if your house sells for about $400,000, it ought to be somewhere pretty close to $400,000. That's if it's at $100,000, that's probably not right. And the other way around too. If it's a $50,000 house and we have it at $100,000, that's not right. And that's why the people come in, and that's why we very rarely have too many people at the BOE. Because we can correct some of those mistakes, but we're mass appraisers, not individual house appraisers. We don't do it like a fee appraiser. We base it on the age and the square foot and the condition and all of those other things, location, all that stuff. And then there's a formula, but that same formula should be generally the same for all houses that meet that same criteria. And that's how we do it. But some of those houses are much nicer than others. They keep them nicer. But we're ready. I mean, we're ready to go. I think we can certainly have it done over the. I don't want to go too far, but I think we could have it certainly done. Take applications.
I think we can take applications, but I was told that he can't do the software this year. He's got 1,400 counties.
So I mean, we could take the applications and be ready to go
for whenever the software is able to.
Well, I think we would have enough time to have it done for next year, for sure. I mean, I didn't realize. I haven't talked to my guy. He talks to Brett because he deals with the collector treasurer side, and Kyle works with the assessor side.
We had a conference last week. That's why.
So, I mean, it's a lot, and they're like a 3-person show. So it's a lot for 40-something counties. But I think realistically we're I mean, depending on what all it needs. I mean, my only limitations would be manpower. I mean, we finally got somebody that's a part-time that we're going to be transitioning to full-time, and that was to take on some of those other duties that we have. And I don't know how much it's going to take. I have to talk to Kyle. I mean, it's not going to take. I don't think it's going to take a full person, but if you've got to go out to 2,000 places and verify everything, that's going to take a lot of time. A lot of time.
But we can definitely. I mean, if you sign an ordinance today, we can definitely start taking applications soon. I mean, we'd have to create one.
I was actually going to ask you if you had an application.
Cass County has a great application.
Yeah, I've seen some really good ones.
So, I mean, I think, we don't have to reinvent the whole wheel.
Mm-mm.
But
We have some samples from various counties that we could go off of. But I think Rick's the one that's going to be taking the applications. Am I understanding that right? Your office is taking the applications.
I'm not going to say. Yeah.
I'm getting ready to say, no, the county clerk's office isn't. So you got two choices, you or Scott. So I think Rick needs to, decide what he wants that application to look like.
And
Not
I
you
need
guys
to know what the
decide.
ordinance is too, because a lot of the information that you put in the ordinance, I think, needs to be put on the application so that people understand, to get a good picture of what is.
I'm going to say the Barton, they've got their application in with their ordinance.
But the number one thing, and I hear this everywhere, the main thing is the people have to know this does not do away with their taxes. It only freezes the increase. But if you go out there, you hear it all the time that it's doing away with their taxes.
And they think it's personal property too, and it's just real estate.
That's the thing people didn't realize.
I mean, for the first year and maybe a couple of years, it's not. I mean, I don't think it's going to be. I mean, every little penny helps and that's going to be a benefit. But it's not going to be. I mean, the numbers aren't really going to start generating for 2 years or 4 years or 6 years down the road, and that's when it really starts kicking in, and people are going to notice the difference. Because the ones that I've seen, when Rick sends it out, it shows what the credit is for that. I mean, it actually has a line that says, "This is how much you saved with this." So, and the numbers are pretty small now, but I think they're gonna.
Well, that's what it's designed to do, is build over time, right? Possibly.
Right. But the Hancock Amendment also is what keeps it pretty low too, because and we've done that in the past. When the values go up more than what the cost of living is, they roll back. I mean, and that helps also. So what we're talking about is it pretty much limits it to the cost of living. They're going to freeze this cost of living. So yeah, it's a great deal, and it needs to get done. But the details are what we need to work on. But I mean, there needs to be no doubt in anybody's mind that y'all are going to do it. And I would go ahead and I would include everything, just like we've been talking about, but just know in the back of your mind that there may be litigation later.
Yes.
But just because there's litigation, you can't be afraid of it. You just got to do what you got to do, and let's move on down the road. And if that happens 2 years or 4 years down the road, then we'll figure it out then.
I think the litigation will probably come from bigger counties, bigger
Oh,
school
yes.
districts.
And like you said, there's already a few that's already out there doing it, bigger counties.
Sure.
I mean, they're gonna.
But this was the first year that they were actually impacted. Districts were impacted, and again, and we're always using school districts, and it's not only school districts, but that's the one you hear about all the time because that is the major one, and we're a lot luckier around here because our school districts are aware of what's going on, and they are very easy to deal with, and they understand when rates go up that they roll back, and they always have. So I am not worried about our school districts at all. They've always done the right thing.
Well, just like your larger counties, a lot of them, they depend on sales tax. Like Bob Houston told me,
Sure.
hey, Jim, they don't worry about the levies, they worry about sales tax, that's it.
But our county, I don't know what our levy is. I mean, sometimes it's 0 and sometimes it's like 3 cents or something.
3 cents last year.
That's what I was gonna say, 3 cents last year and the year
And-
before,
And that's,
It's creeping down.
yeah.
so it's,
As far as our levy, like I say, it's not a big deal.
With our sales tax being kind of flat, though, it may
Things could
the
change.
formula could say that you go up to 4 cents or whatever.
So I don't know, but I think we need to do it. Now,
But
whether we do it or voted in, I don't know. The way I understood, if you voted in, then it'll have to be the voted people to do any changing.
true. And so it's
And
a
there's where you-
it's a lot.
Then if you get unvoted people, you're gonna hear all those people, they're gonna call you and say, you need to do something like that. Well,
And it's going to be at least probably a year before you can
That's
make
right.
that change because it goes to the next general election.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're including everything and you're not cherry picking the things that you want to include and you're doing the right thing, then I would say go ahead and do it because we can get working on it a lot sooner.
Same with you.
Because
I
we
agree.
can't wait till November or whatever the next
No.
election is to decide whether we may or may not do it. And
So that's about time you'll be getting.
so then it would be
swamped with your
another
problems,
year,
right?
another year down
Yeah.
the road, and I
Yeah.
don't want to wait.
Well, and there's no guarantee it'll pass.
No,
No, but I think
I think it's passed.
You can
right?
say that, but there's
No,
no
you
guarantee
don't know
that
that.
it
Right,
would
though.
pass.
Kevin's right. There's no guarantee.
There's the ones that have had elections. It's been won by a white.
Sure, but it's not a guarantee.
And on top of the state's already put in place. So.
But the state is great at that. They're saying, look, we have this really, really great idea. Now, y'all
Figure out how to
make
do
work for you.
Yeah. No, it's your problem.
And the other thing, like these little yellow cards that everybody's getting, not my idea. Don't want to do it. I don't want to go in anybody's house. I don't even want to go to their property. But the state says you have to offer. If it has the potential to go up 15%, you have to offer for them to be there and to let you in their house to show you just how overvalue your numbers are. So every single person that I've talked to so far does not want us to in. Period. They inquire about the card, but they said, "What do you have us valued at?" I say this. I said, "Well, we really don't want you there then."
I don't want him there on some Tuesday night.
yeah, and he's there. You get a deduction for that?
He gets a deduction.
I only want you there if you bring a dust rag and a mop on your way in.
But I would caution everybody all the time. I mean, we're happy to go out there and do it. I mean, we're thrilled. We love to go out there because invariably we pick up stuff that, I mean, there's always stuff out there that you don't know and you don't see. But whenever I start looking at some of the values of these houses and they come in, and like there was a gentleman just a little while ago that was in, and he said that he didn't know whether he wanted somebody to come out. And I said, well, what's your house worth? And he gave me this big number, and I looked at it and I said, well, we're about 120,000 under that. And he said, well, I don't really want you at my house then. And I said, I understand, and I understand that we're probably wrong on the value of your house. I said, I'm not gonna jack it up here just because I know what you think it's worth. I said, I have to be able to justify it, and it's just a mess. I mean, but I want him the same wrong as everybody else in that whole neighborhood. I want them all wrong together, and because we can work on raising the water level up a little bit instead of if I start picking one house and raising it, and he's here and this one's here, then when I make an adjustment, it's a no-win situation. And we know that we're low on some, and we try to make those adjustments, but I can only do it every other year. I can't do it every year, right? And that's another real problem, because everybody says, well, we're going up 10%. You say, well, you're going up 10% since the last time. That's 5% per year, and the market's gone up 8% every year. I mean, so it's hard to keep those numbers straight, and and I'm looking at 3 years ago in the rearview mirror, trying to decide what's going to happen 2 years from now, and it's a difficult task.
But we need to have a resolution typed up, ready to go before we vote anything in.
Correct.
So each one of you have a copy of the resolution. If we're going to move, get your red pen, write your questions next to it, and then we can type up another prototype with what your guys' ideas are, and that's how we'll work off of that one.
Okay.
There can be as much or as little in there, I guess, as you guys want.
The more the better. Because if we're going through the applications, I want to know clearly, do you have to be 62 by January 1, or if you turn 62 that year by December 31, do you qualify? What is included in your residential property? Is it the outbuildings? I mean, because if we're going through them, we're going to go by whatever you put on your list.
Do you still have I'll email it to you, the document. This is something that you did for Henry County prior to.
You guys read it, see if there's anything you want us to add to it.
I
think that would be an excellent.
You may want to help.
It just has to be really, really clear, because
we
don't want to be the ones making decisions on
all
stuff.
The main thing is to get down what we have to have in there. We don't want to get something that we don't have what we're supposed to have.
So we'll go through the applications and then give them to you guys.
Okay.
But if whatever's in your ordinance and they don't qualify, then that'll be
what you back it
something
up
you
with.
look at.
Yeah.
If you're 62 and your spouse is 58 and you pass away, there's some counties allowing that 58-year-old to continue on.
Oh.
So I personally don't think that qualifies. Yeah, I don't.
That's why we'll have that in there.
Well, it's good. Pick it and choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
What if you're 62 and your spouse is 48?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
And then he or she remarries, and then she's 62 and he's 48.
Or I mean, I
Is
think
it
it's
frozen at the prior spouse? There's just a lot of things.
How do you put that in an ordinance?
You must
without
be 62 to qualify.
Yeah. And that means everybody.
Yeah.
And if your wife's not on and you're not on deed, she's going to be on it. If you give it, or however that all works, then they have to be 62. Whoever's going to live it.
Well, if someone passes away, wouldn't that be a thing that changes your base, you know?
I don't think so.
Resets
If you're both on the deed together,
Yeah.
and one person
Then,
falls off, I
if
think
they're already
it's
on the deed, they're already there.
as long as they're 62.
Yeah.
But then again, that's one of the things you have to check every year. I mean, you have to check the deed. You have to make sure there's been no changes in the deed. You have to check their eligibility each time. I mean,
Make sure they're
It's-
still alive.
it's not as easy as just pushing a
Right.
button at
No.
one time and being done with it.
So they have to reapply every year.
Yes.
Come in and reapply.
Well, now Cass County made them can't come in, and that worked. And Chris Mollendorf up there said it worked great. I mean, great. But he also has a much bigger staff than
They
what
have
we
a lot
do.
more people to deal with too.
I think they had almost right at 10,000 people
Yeah.
apply.
Well, that's a lot of difference in a couple of hours.
Yeah. But it worked out good. But I just think it just creates a problem whenever you start, I mean, and a whole nother huge expense whenever you start sending out several thousand, having them typed up, in letters sent out, and some people get them, some people don't.
Some people respond, some people don't.
I think the best way to get the word out is to put a notice in the real estate tax bill that we mail out.
Sure. And so we would really need to have everything done before the next election to have that done.
Scott,
I
what's your
think
email
we should
address?
try to have it done sooner.
Yeah.
The assessor,
Maybe make
Henrico Assessor at Gmail,
see if you can get
Henry
that.
Clay.
Yeah,
Yep.
or Scott at Henry Como or dot whatever it is.
I sent you both the document that they have right now. Just
right now.
pick it apart.
Where I got that.
We
I don't
should
know.
get everything in it.
I'd say we go through this.
Can't hear you.
We need to do at least by next Thursday.
Yeah.
Go over that bid.
I mean, I think that probably is quicker.
And I think as long as we're at least as inclusive of whatever would be on the ballot initiative, I truly think that that's probably having y'all do it is better because you can be much more responsive to any changes. If we want to add stuff, I mean, if we want to change the way that we're doing the 62 to then the surviving spouse and all that stuff, it's a lot easier and a lot quicker than going the
To the
next
commission
general election to
and
make a change.
Election.
What if the state brings out another, like an improvement on this? Do we gotta redo all
Could
this?
change our ordinance, yeah. It could.
Can you not amend?
Yeah.
the ordinance?
Oh,
Yeah, but
okay.
you can, but not if
If the people
if
voted.
you
Voted
voted the
people,
people and you
you
put all the
can't-
verbiage in there, you're locked in.
Yeah.
Well, I think that settles that.
It'd be better to
I
have
mean,
us. do
As
it.
long as you're fully inclusive of everything that you know that we've
Yeah.
talked about, and we're not carving out. Which, I mean, knowing full well that could come back at some much later date, and we'll just have to deal with that then. But
Agreed.
Well, all we gotta do is get this finalized and do it.
So my suggestion is everybody has it now. I sent it to Rick and I sent it to Scott and you guys have it as well. Make your notes. Jake's not gonna be here Tuesday, so next week's not going to work for that, but
You
put
be
it
here
on.
Thursday.
No, we're
Yeah,
closed
we'll be here
Thursday.
Thursday.
It's Sherman's birthday.
Oh.
We don't meet on Thursday. I won't be here, Jim.
Sorry. Mark?
You guys can come in if you want to. But put it on your agenda
Yes.
to meet back up with Rick and Scott and
Yes.
go over the changes that you guys think. That needs to be on your agenda and not
I
just
agree.
letting
Yeah.
everybody. I think we need to set a time aside for this.
and make sure that I mean if the public's going to know about it, make sure it's on the agenda, and if they have questions or concerns or ideas, I mean, this is really for them. Not, I mean, it doesn't affect me quite yet. Soon. Soon.
We may want to cut the comment to 3 minutes in.
Well, I think it's retiring, so we need it. But
Mark,
I think
don't
we
answer.
keep it open enough to where it actually
Just listen until you get done.
helps people and put, like you all said, put everything in here, stating boom, 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 boom. I think a lot of the questions will be answered in itself. I hope.
well, you know, I just hope that people realize it's not going to alleviate all their taxes because I hear that
Yes,
Yes,
all the time.
yes.
we hear it all the time. They don't realize what it curtails. But anyway,
How
let's,
about the week after next?
I'm good with whenever. I just think you guys need to schedule something, not just say we'll
Come
look
back.
at it.
I mean, I'm hoping I'm back.
Let's circle
that
back to that.
following week. I won't know until later, but I'll be in touch with you guys.
okay, next week.
It'll be like the 10th or 11th or something like that.
Yeah, I can't believe April is a blur. Oh my gosh.
The next Tuesday is the 13th. I will be having an election in my office, and I have an appointment at 12:30 on that day. So,
How about the 15th?
well, I'll be here in the morning on the 13th. I'm just
Yeah.
telling you guys that I may be in and out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm good with the 13th. If you guys are all good with the 13th, and we will start early, maybe.
What time?
What's good for you? What's good for you guys? You want to start at like 9:30ish after we get bills done?
Yep.
Get them up here.
well, now we're gonna have public comment before.
I'd let them talk at the end.
Huh?
I'd let the public talk at the end.
And that way, if it goes long, it goes long. It gives
Well,
everybody
exactly.
Well, you guys may answer some of the questions that they're wanting answered.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Without having to ask. So we'll set you at 9:30 a.m. on
Alright.
Tuesday the 13th.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.
See you guys.
Take care. I'll look that up for you.
Can you
The,
send a image to my
You're
email?
gonna be-
Showing the boundary lines
next Tuesday,
carved
Yes,
out
sir.
of the park.
we will be getting
I have a print out.
our summation of
way back down.
fly ash.
On Tuesday.
I'm not very good at
It
that.
should, maybe tomorrow.
Well,
I
I'd
don't-
say
I
it's
don't know.
by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know he's hoping for today.
yeah. So,
I'll take this with me. Just send it to me.
Okay.
I'll try to keep an eye.
Will you be driving Tuesday, or will you be there
Someday
Tuesday?
while you're out.
I'll be driving Tuesday.
Okay.
Or Jimmy
Yeah,
will be
you're gonna
driving
be-
one of us.
You'll be driving all day.
Man, it's an 8-hour drive up there.
it's 12 hours up there.
I didn't think
It's
it's.
12.
I didn't,
Oh,
think,
I
it's- I didn't think I'd
I think
drive.
the last time.
I went up there.
When I was 18. It was 12.
Speed limit might not have been as fast as it is now.
Oh, we went to.
Yeah, it was
Hickman.
55.
Well,
We gotta go
don't-
to Rochester, not
Don't forget that if you
So-
take your tablet, that even if you had to join the meeting, you can join the meeting on your tablet.
Yeah.
You can do video. I mean,
I'll hit
we've got
play.
all kinds of ways to.
It has to be a video.
Huh?
If he's
What are you talking about?
remotely coming in, it has to be a video for him to vote. Video chat or something like that.
Oh, I'm with you.
You can't just call in and do
Right.
it on audio.
Where you find that at?
We
Show
dealt-
me.
We dealt with that. It's part of the Sunshine Law, as adapted to modern technology.
So Zoom call kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which we in our teams we have the ability to just
Do a
us
Zoom.
meet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
He just
there
has to be
if you get
physically
stuck
present.
up there.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Sounds good.
If
We can do
you're
that.
if you're not sure about getting back,
I'm
that
hoping we're back by the end of the week. But
Yeah. we
Fingers
can
crossed.
meet virtually with you. I already see like on one spot of that, things that are going to change in that ordinance where we had it, where we were only going to freeze. I highlighted it on Jake's.
Certain things.
Yeah,
Right.
it said Henry County. Sorry.
The senior citizens
Yeah.
tax and something else.
Whereas
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
And I questioned the whole thing. It's the whole. That's set up for just doing
Right.
picking and
Yeah.
choosing.
I
See, we can put
highlighted the
that
whole thing
the
too.
whole way out.
I highlighted the whole thing.
What
But if you'll just mark through what you have questions for or make notes on the ones,
Yeah.
then we can use that document and just use that as our template and kind of go from there. I see the eligible credit amount and it says 62 years or older, and I think like Rick was wanting to elaborate on that, 62 years or older at the time of application during that tax year. I mean,
Don't go back if they're 80. Well, I want to go back when I was 62.
no, I mean,
Well, that's what.
to determine if
Would
you're
be
eligible.
Start the day that you sign up,
Yeah.
or January 1.
Right,
Is that
right. And I think that's what Rick was asking for,
Yeah.
was clarification on exactly when that person turns 62, do they qualify? Because if they have to
That's a
apply
really
by,
good question, though.
well, if they have to apply by
They all ask
June,
you questions.
and June is the cutoff date, and I don't turn 62 until November, or October for that matter, before the bills go out,
I'm gonna let that go.
that's where that question lies. Because I'm gonna be 62 that year.
I haven't read it 100%, but does it talk about, because if some people own more than one home,
Uh-huh.
does it talk about you're only
Yes.
It defines the homestead.
Residence, your own residence.
I think it's under homestead on number or letter I. Homestead, the
Yeah.
physical address of the real property for which it's claimed.
Yeah, I've read, seen it. I'm
If they live somewhere else, it won't count.
And then, the question on Rick's deal, I think it's almost one of those things if you're turning 62 within that
Calendar
taxing
year.
calendar year,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know.
I don't know, because you wouldn't qualify if you were July 4th baby and the applications were taken on in June, because you wouldn't qualify on the date of application. So I think those are definitely things.
We'd almost have to ask
when would
Richard.
you get your tax break? I mean, when, like, we pay our taxes on a certain day.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you were 62 by the time it came time for you to get that break, I would, within that calendar year, I think you would be fine.
That's what I was thinking,
Yeah.
but I mean, that would be really a question for Rick. I mean, he's going to field a lot of these questions, him and Scott.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What they
I
want
mean,
to
like,
cut
if
down
you
all
get
the trucks.
you're supposed to pay or get your money back.
Yeah.
You turn 62 in December,
Mm-hmm.
roll around.
Right. I mean, that's.
Going to next year.
did you think you had some other samples of?
There are some other ordinances that we do have, down in the office that I've seen physically. I'll try to find the file. I'm not sure where it's
I
at.
think
I've
I've
got
got
4 or
some.
5.
I've got another one at
some
the house.
else.
I flipped through it.
I've got, I think, 2 or 3, at least
Yeah.
2 or 3 of them, and then I've got actually the, what do you call it, where they sign up. I've got
The application.
Applications, I
a
got.
couple of applications.
Okay.
Different ones I've used.
Well, this looks like a good base start, something to start with, but
Yeah.
there's definitely some issues in here that need.
Yeah, just to go through what we got, add and subtract or whatever, and then
I just
everybody
don't
put
think it
them all
needs
together.
Yeah, I just don't think we need to wait until election, personally.
No.
I think we're just setting ourselves up
I
for
really,
I
a
do too.
problem.
disaster if we do,
Yeah, I mean,
honestly. Just
No,
because
it's-
the timing,
After
the
listening,
timing.
I think it'd be better, let's do it, get it done, be out of our.
Get it behind us.
Well, and no offense to
That's my
anybody, it's lasted long enough.
I
It's
thought
time to-
about that.
I
Let's
agree.
put it in act. Let's put it in.
We've kicked this can down the road far too long.
Agreed. People can get a savings all that. That's great. That's the whole purpose of it.
Yeah, and some of them won't care if it's $5. They say, you know what, $5 is $5. So
That's right,
that's me. I'm that cheapo. I'm like, what?
She just calls it
$5 is $5. I'll cross the
She
street
just
for
crossed
$5.
No,
That's everything, isn't it?
That's everything we got.
If I run across some other applications, I'll zip them over to you guys so that you'll have them
Okay.
to look at too.
Try to get.
I know I have some down there in hard copy form. Wait, this page minutes are already 3 pages long.
Busy day.
That air conditioner's still working good.
I make a motion to adjourn meeting.
Wait a second.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carried.
Here, here.